102. Yeah, let's get started. I've always had I didn't invent this, but never make people that are on time wait for people that are not. But although I do understand because I'm almost running late. Okay, so welcome to the University of Options Futures Trading presentation. This is kind of meant to give you some background on what you're going to see next week in the live trading room. And I really encourage you to go into the live trading room. I hope that by the time this presentation is over, you understand the value of what you'll get in that room. So with that said, let's go. So just a few things about University of Options. We launched this company in 2018. We have a team of really talented traders. You'll meet at least three of them today. Uh, our support staff is incredible, and the reason for that is all of our support staff, pretty much all of our team, came up to us as members. And in Vanessa, who's on the call, like I don't remember how long it's been, but she was always helping everybody. She was always in the chat room answering questions, extremely knowledgeably. You could tell that she really understood it and she was smart and that she cared. I had to literally talk her into joining us because it wasn't really looking for a job. So that's been a big lift for us is hiring people that are members that we already know very well where their heart is. We have a great community. Same thing. You'll see that how people interact and support each other. I'm sure that every company says that. You'll have to witness it with us. We've developed a really strong trading course. If you don't understand futures, that's the whole idea. The course will get you there. Observing in the live trading room without any pressure of having money on the line is the best way that you're going to learn. And then from there, we'll encourage you to paper trade and then start really small. So, and we never stop building, we never stop improving things. It's just our culture, to the point that I, I probably annoy some people because it's like, okay, we just got this done. Now you're already doing that. I just feel like it's our duty to do that. Okay, so this is obviously I already said that. So why trade futures? Just touch on that very quickly. The futures market is highly liquid. Our name would tell you that we started off as an options trader, University of Options. Um, I have a background trading bonds for Bear Stearns many, many years ago, but I was on the trading desk trading fixed income products. And so I have pretty good handle on most securities. Futures is not something I got super involved in until a few years ago. And the more that I realized, I was like, wow, these are really liquid. I mean, it's not that the options are not liquid, but the futures are massively liquid. And there's so many things we can do with futures in terms of automation that you really can't do with options. So it really becomes, if you want to automate these processes, and you'll see some pretty cool automations, then it's got to be either futures or stock because options just doesn't work. It's getting close. The other thing is the market's open 23 hours a day. So and it opens so Sunday afternoon it opens, and then it goes until Friday afternoon. So Saturday would be the day that you wouldn't really trade, and then it closes every day from, if you're on Pacific time, 2 p.m. Pacific, which is 5 p.m. Eastern, to 3 p.m. Pacific, or 6 p.m. Eastern. And that's the only hour that the futures market rests. It doesn't take much capital. This is what struck me the most. Um, that, for instance, I don't want to throw jargon out too much, but one of the things we trade is called the ES, and that's like the S&P version of futures. And they developed a micro contract called the MES, and the the broker that we use requires $50 per contract of trading capital. So you could trade 10 contracts for $500. Now, we never would recommend that because things happen, whatever, drawdowns, boo-boos. So for us, it's we want to make sure you have at least four times what the broker's asking for. I'll say three to four times, but like 200 per contract for an MES is good. But that's still not a lot when you understand how much money that we regularly make on a daily and weekly basis. And then the last thing that really got me on futures is the what's called proprietary trading firms, prop firms. The affiliation we have strongest is with Apex. I'm going to show you some things about Apex. And so what they do, their aim is to fund traders. So you're not trading your own capital. You have to prove to them that you know what you're doing, that you can be consistent. And so you have a challenge to pass, and when that challenge is passed, you get into the funded program and you can start making money. So the ability to trade really big on someone else's capital is priceless. Um, and then lastly, if you've traded options, you know what the pattern day trading rule is. It just says you cannot take more than three day trades a week where you're in and out the same day. So only three a week. The law is so stupid. It's being challenged right now. It may be abolished, but it's done exactly what something shouldn't do. It's made day trading awesome for people that have at least 25,000. Now, there are certainly ways around it, like our options program. The type of account you open could allow you to day trade with much less. But with futures, we don't have to think about that at all, and I like that. So Apex, just a couple things. The slide is slightly dated, but this tells you at that point in the last 90 days, they funded 71,500,000 cash paid out to traders. And since 2022, I think this number's probably doubled. They had paid out 170 million, and the average monthly compensation is 10,000 bucks. Sorry, $10 million is the average. So you have the high, the low, and the average. It's pretty cool. So Apex has been recognized by a lot of really important sources, Benzinga, NASDAQ, you can see them here. Modest Money Interview, Medium Interview. Um, so they're proven, they've got a track record, and then this is just a couple of things about them. So you receive 100% of the first 25,000 that you make. It says per account. So you could have 20 accounts with Apex. And I don't know if Sean's going to be live, but I have a video of him. He's one of our traders, and he just kills it using funded accounts. I think he's up to like 60 different funded accounts through like three different companies. And the idea there is, hey, if I make 20 bucks a day per account times 60, that's really good money. So just take little pieces out of the market and not try to stay in very long.
Come
You
on,
pay out
Dan.
twice.
Come on, 20 bucks. Come on, you know I do more than that.
Yeah, what's your goal?
Well, because I've had them for so long and I've built up the buffers, I'm up to about $300 to $400 a day now is what I hit every day. So
That's times
when
60.
you show the screenshots later, they'll be able to see that was a couple months ago. But since then I'll tell them how I've scaled and how I've increased the buffers to trade just a little bit bigger than I was 4 or 5 months ago.
Nice. So we'll get to that, I think that soon. Um, and then I'll ask you then if you want me to play that video or do you want to talk through that or maybe both. Um, so no daily drawdowns. What that means is you can take certain losses every day without having the account pulled. There are companies that say, hey, if you lose more than 500 in the day, I'm taking your account. It's not the end of the world, by the way. If you we call it blow up. If you blow up an account, it's like between 30 and $60 to reset it and start over. So, but it was a lot better than if you blow up and get crazy and lose thousands. This way, your loss is going to be the amount that you paid for the challenge fee. Um, so anyway, I think that's probably enough about that. And this is just showing you that it's done. It's done all the time. This was an account that I passed in April, and I don't I don't trade futures a ton, just so you know. Uh, but you can see I got funded $50,000 account, and I believe I did that in 5 days. And the reason 5 days is they want to see consistency. You don't want to necessarily just make it all in one day, but it's real. This is good, but I don't think the next slide made it into the deck. And this was a little bit of a brag slide for me. So there, out of 52,000 strategy managers, and that you can check out this company. They're called The Collective, and then the number two. Um, they've tracked 2,100 trades, blah, blah, blah. So I was ranked in the top 6% of the 52,000. So that was pretty cool. Okay, so the prize here is Vanessa and Keith. They're in that trading room every morning, and I'll show you. You'll see what they do and how they do it when we get there. I'll kind of be doing a quick interview with them, but that's a big part of what we offer. Um, hang on here. Okay, so Keith, do you want to since I know you have a better connection, let me go back a slide.
Sure.
Do you want to talk about this slide and then tell me when to advance it?
Sure, excellent. Thanks very much, Dan. Okay, hi everybody. I'm Keith, half of the double act of Keith and Vanessa. Obviously, she's the pretty half with a lovely accent from America. I'm over in UK, so yeah, I'm trading in the mornings, but it's the afternoon for me. We support you every day, and we also do three evening sessions, 3 to 4 EST on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays for coaching and training. So
Thank
what do we
you.
have in a room? How can we help you when you come in our room? What are you going to see? Well, you're going to see the ES and the NQ, or MES and MNQ is the same, on 5 minute charts. We've chosen to use 5 minute charts so it's not too fast and not too slow, and it seems a great compromise for new traders and seasoned traders alike. We provide every day daily upper and lower price targets, okay, for the ES and the NQ. So we do a lot of mathematical calculations based purely on price action. So Vanessa and I get together pre-market every single day and we work out what's happened overnight and do our little calculations to give you some targets, upper and lower targets, which are, you'll see, pretty successful. So we're very pleased with the results. That's going to help you when you know how to get in and when you're trading, or if you're going long or if you're going short. We go both ways, obviously, which is an advantage of using futures rather than just stocks. We go long or we go short. You're going to see that's going to help you once you know and you decide your trade, where you're going to get out. Where's the price going? That's so valuable. Not many people get to see where price is actually going. It makes things a lot easier. So we also have what we call has to hold levels for the upper and lower targets. These are prices that we've calculated that if they are not broken, they will support the direction of our targets. So there's a whole little movement. We do how far can it go down? How far does it need to go up? You get the whole package together so you can manage the trades easily. When they break, if it has to hold, as the name suggests, game over. Those targets are no longer valid, but we know the market is going the other way, and we'll already have targets ready for you the other way. Price decision points, the same thing. On the way from X to Y going to targets, does it always just go straight to target? Of course not. Of course it doesn't. There'll be decision points on the way where if it looks like it's going a certain direction, but it can't break a very specific price, we'll know and you'll know it's going the other way, and we know how to behave in that respect. That's also very useful. We've got at the end of our targets 1, 2, and 3, so the high probability closer target, the good probability sort of full distance target. We've got our third target, which is what we call lovingly the rubber band target. So this is an extreme target level, and what we find very, very, very often is when price actually does get to that third stretch target, as the name suggests, it does come back, giving us a great opportunity to go against the trend at that point and take nice trades back to the previous two levels. So that's something you really, really need to see. We call them rubber band because it stretches and stretches, comes back. Sometimes when it pushes too much, breaks through, and it's all over. So what does that look like graphically? On the left, we always have the ES. On the right, we always have the NQ. And if you look on the left-hand chart, towards the bottom, middle bottom, you have the blue, yellow, and green circles for those of you who are not colorblind. So if you are colorblind, I've just realized that might be an issue actually. So the three circles that you see in the lower third on the left-hand chart, the first is the first target. These are lower targets. First, second, and third target. The green one is what we call the rubber bands. As you can see, as happens very often, look what's happened. Prices come down, wicked into that little beautiful circle ellipse, and gone right back up for a nice little run. Thank you very much. So we'll help you get in. You'll see us talk through price action, how to set up, where's a likely good place to enter the trade. We know the is going towards targets. When's a good time to get in? How far do you want to ride it down? How far do you want to take it to the targets? And what to do when it gets there. So all of that happens every single day on the ES and on the NQ. It's got to be
Keith,
worth
can you
looking
hear
at.
me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry. I just want to make sure because some people may not know even what ES or NQ means. So
Ah,
if
okay.
if you're trading stock, the symbol for Tesla, for instance, would be TSLA, General Motors would be GM, IBM would be IBM. So when you're trading futures, ES, think of that as like a stock symbol. NQ, think of that as like a stock symbol. One represents the NASDAQ, which is tech stocks, and the other represents the S&P. So I just want to get that out because when people
Cool.
sometimes the way our minds are wired is when we hear a term that we don't understand, we shut down. So don't shut down.
There you go. So let's do it in English. That's a very good idea in English. So the left-hand chart, the ES is the S&P 500. Okay, so that's like the overall price averaged out over the 500 top companies in the US. And as Dan said, thanks for pointing that out. The Nasdaq is the NQ. Nasdaq, you can see how that works. It's the top 100 tech companies in the US. So that makes much more sense. Okay, so there we go. That's what it looks like. A few little colors, some lines. We talk you through everything. What do we explain? The commentary through the room from 9:15 until 11 every day. That's EST. We explain what's happening with price action. We explain how to trade around the core levels, which are an additional instrument we use, which we give you just to use as you trade. Very, very key levels that form like a price ladder up and down. How to trade around these. We explain what the targets are, what the key levels are to get to the targets, and what's in the way. And we also, as often as we can, at least once a day, we like to put on a demonstrated live trade, how we actually trade, how we use our own targets, and how we use the own core levels. So in front of you, we explain what we're doing. We'll put it on. You can see it live as the market's working. Give you an idea how to do it yourself or to adapt slightly what we're doing. So this is the learning. It's sort of coaching. It's an explanation. We also do accept questions as well. So we can have questions in the chat. And some people can't talk because they're at work. And we can open the mic and let people ask questions. As long as we're not in the middle of an important move, obviously, we like to talk through what's happening. But in between important moves, we open up the mic and people can actually speak and ask us direct questions. So we like the human side as well. So that's what you're going to get. That's what happens, and that's the commentary. Okay, and the next slide.
Okay.
Please. This is what's happening. So next week, we're opening the doors to everybody, all of you, friends and family, coming in and have a look. Monday to Friday, as Dan said, from 9:15 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's EST. We do go over a little bit for 11. If we're in the middle of something juicy, we will let it run over for some time. And that's like the live trading session. So that's the room's open for both. That's the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. Also, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings, as I mentioned earlier, or afternoons for you guys, from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. EST. We also have another live trading session where it's much more questions and answers and a training session. We'll do different things every day, whatever you guys need. So we fully open up. We recap the day already, what happened in the room in the morning and what's happened since 11 until then, because stuff can happen. And we may give you some more targets and things to play with towards the end of the day. Sometimes it's quiet, and then we open up to as many questions as we can handle in the hour. We get a lot of people improving. We get a lot of good feedback, and we want to open this up and just share the beautiful world of futures trading. Please come along in numbers next week.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. It's interesting, when you say you're from the UK, I don't think anyone could ever tell.
I speak to you lovely Americans every day. I think I'll get an American accent.
I love your accent. I don't know why. Maybe not every American is like me, but there's just something about that English accent that's we just like listening to you.
And Vanessa's also got a beautiful accent as well. So it's between us, it works really well. We've got the point, we've got the balance between the two of us. So you've got male and female. This is open to ladies as well. Guess what, guys? You know what they say, the real big pros, the serious guys, women make better traders than men. That's just how it is. That's just generally true. So guys, unlucky. That's just what it is. So get the ladies in. It's definitely a place for you as well.
We have
Thank you
far
very
more
much.
we have far more patience.
There she is.
Yeah, because you've been putting up with men your whole life.
So it's really good. Yeah, it's a lovely environment. We make it nice, fun, and friendly, and but we obviously have the serious side as well because we want to help you guys make money. Okay, thank you very much. I think we're going to go over to see Mr. Shawn. Is a bit of a super dude, and with his trading strategies and prop firms. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great job. So Shawn, do you want me to play that video? I think it might autoplay if I do this, or do you want to just talk through that?
All right, you can see.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, go ahead and play the video, and then I can kind of recap
Okay, cool.
what they're actually
Do I
saying.
have to make sure my system audio is playing? Let's see
It
here.
did come through for that second, Dan. That worked.
Oh, it did? Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
All right, you can see my screen.
I can.
Okay, so I keep track of my daily P&Ls every day. So Apex allows a max of 20 funded accounts. And then Dan knows, and it's funny, Dan way back thought I was crazy that I was going to get 20 accounts.
You are crazy.
I am crazy. But since then,
But you were right.
since then, I have 41 separate funded accounts. These accounts, Apex allows a copy trader. So when I execute one trade, it copies all of my accounts at the same time. And the reason why these are broken up, I have to trade on different servers for certain prop firms, but I keep track. And you can see I practice what I preach, right? A couple $100 a day per account. Today was a $10,000 day. But look, I only had to extract $138 out of the market. Out of this enormous market, my exposure to the market is very, very small, but it adds up. And some of my other accounts, I have bigger buffers, and with a copy trader, you can ratio up and you can make more per account. But what I wanted to show you, it's every day. Every day, like yesterday was light, right? There wasn't a lot of trades. It was pretty choppy. I made 30 to $40 per account, right? That's a $1,200, $1,500 day. But every single day, trading with Dan, you can make that kind of money. And just think about how enormous this market is. And we're talking about extracting $150, $100 out of the market. That's it. So for every $100 on 20 accounts, for every $100 you make, multiplied over 20 accounts is $500,000 a year. And you're only pulling $100 out of the market. Now with my 41 accounts, right, and we'll show you how you can scale up. And we have a whole scaling program, right? if anybody's on here that's gone through the whole Apex and all these prop firms, you're always blowing up your accounts. There's a method to the madness of how to beat Apex and Top Step and all these other prop firms at their game. Once you know which game you're playing in, we trade micros. So we're under leveraged where the prop firms want you to be over leveraged because they know you're going to blow up your accounts. They know how greedy we are, and they're going to allow you to over leverage. And that's why so many people fail. I trade micros. I trade like 3 to 5 micros to make 100 to 150 bucks a day. That's it. And by being so under leveraged, I'll never be in a position that I'll ever blow up these accounts.
Love that video, Shawn. There we go. Do you want to just take these? Or do you want me to ask them like it's a real interview?
I could take them. And
Okay.
to kind of rehash on the whole prop firm game, I mean, that really is the game changer when it comes to trading, right? I have a cash account. Everybody that trades has a cash account. But when you can extract such a small amount out of the market, and there's just something about trading prop where it's still my money, right? I've worked my butt off to build up these accounts. I've passed the evaluations. I've been funded now for going on 2 years with a lot of these accounts. But there's just something different about trading prop versus my cash. And the cool thing is using the copy trader, when I take one trade, I now have 56 funded accounts. When I take one trade, it copies all 56 of my accounts at the same time. And I copy my cash account when I execute one trade. So I'm not taking 56 individual trades. I take one trade, copies all my accounts. So if I make $100 on the trade, right, it's a $5,600 trade. Now, of course, if I lose $100 or $50, right, it's multiplied over those accounts as well. But there's just something different about if I do take a $30 or $40 loss on a trade, it's very easy mentally to make back a $30 loss trading micros versus making up a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 loss in your cash account. And you'll see once you get into the rhythm of trading these prop firms, it's the game changer. And Vanessa and Keith, they're going to show you how to extract $50 to $100 out of the market every single day trading a few micros. And it just changes everything. And, you know, both of my sons, they're 21 and 22. They each have their own accounts. My wife is a full-time trader. She has her own accounts. Collectively, as a family, we kind of treat this as a family business. We're trading like 120 accounts right now. You just do the math. It's so, and I thank Dan all the time, and I tell him, and Dan knows I'm nothing special, right? I'm not out there making 2, 3, 4 grand per account every day. Like you see some of these guys on YouTube, right? This guy that beat Apex and got a $2.5 million payout in, you know, less than 6 weeks. I'm not that guy. I'm looking to make a couple $100 a day over all these accounts, and it's generational life-changing money. And I think that's really where the difference is. Once you get your head around making just a few bucks out of the market every day, and then use the rest of your day, and that's the reason why we trade, is for the freedom to be able to trade, control our life. You know, a lot of people know I've been in the mortgage industry going on 30 years, and you would have to beg me to write a mortgage these days. I wouldn't do it, right? I'd rather take another trade, make 50 bucks times all these accounts. And Vanessa and Keith and Dan, they'll show you how to get these accounts and how to pass. And I wrote up kind of a whole plan of how much you need to make per day, being way under leveraged, pass your account in 15 days, and you should be able to get payouts within 45 to 60 days from the time that you start. That's where the excitement starts to happen. And you don't need to start with 20 accounts. Start with 5 accounts, then 10. Use the profits in your payouts to get the other challenges. And eventually, and then we'll show you how, once you get to 20, getting the additional 20 or 30 accounts on top of that, it's just rinse and repeat. Very, very easy. So what brought me to the program? I've been trading, and I joke around. I use that very light and very loose. I was really a gambler. No system. My business partner and I, right? We were doing mortgages, sitting next to each other, guessing which way the market's going to go. We had no strategy, right? We're clicking buttons. It was like a video game, and we're blowing up accounts. We're losing money. And he invites me to this webinar, or this seminar in person in Irvine, right? We show up. There's like 200 people in this seminar. It's Online Trading Academy. They're one of the largest. They're huge. We're sitting there for 3 days during this presentation. You walk out feeling like you're going to be able to make $1 million. And this is after my partner and I each paid $50,000 on day 3 on our way out. The problem was we get back to our office and we start trying to implement all this education and all this knowledge into actual trading. It's like, good luck. There was no system to follow. We're on our own, drawing our own support and resistance lines, and we're blowing up accounts still. And we're like, we just paid 50 grand and we're still losing money. Yeah, so that didn't work. So we go on, and this is back in 2014. 2018, Andy, my business partner, invites me to another webinar. I'm like, oh, great, here we go. We spend more money, but let's go. Let's see what's going on. So Dan showed us his presentation live. And what really intrigued me and what motivated me to spend the money and jump back in was we got to earn while we were learning. So we were able to trade live with Dan back then, 40 years of experience guiding us into trades while we're learning. So it wasn't this long drawn out process. I have to learn everything for 6 months or a year before I can start making money. We're making money day one. Paper traded for a week, and Andy and I were live trading, copying exactly what Dan was doing live. Now with Vanessa and Keith, you're going to be able to do the same thing with them. So you get to earn while you're learning and start passing these evaluations right away. All these prop firms weren't around back in 2018. So this is all kind of a new thing since kind of like 2022, right after COVID. And since then, Apex has paid out since 2022 over $500 million in payouts. So these companies are legit. Top Step, Take Profit Trader, there's a handful of them that I have, and they all pay out, no issues. So that's kind of how I found Dan. Very thankful. And you'll see once you actually get into this, where you're able to earn the money while you're learning. It really progresses and it accelerates your learning curve. Daily goal, $400 a day now, right? I've built up enough buffers and we're going to show you how this whole micro thing works versus trading full contracts. We trade contract size that are 1/10 a full contract. And I trade like 3 to 5 micros. That's it. I'm so under leveraged. I'm never going to be in a position that I'm ever going to blow up these accounts. And when we talk about blowing up the accounts, we'll just use Apex to keep it simple. You have to make $3,000 before you lose $2,500. If you ever lose $2,500, you lose the account. But I've built up buffers where I have additional money sitting in the account that I can trade a little bigger and not worry about losing the accounts. But in the beginning, just focus on making $50 a day. $50 a day on 20 accounts is $1,000 a day. It's $250,000 a year, and you're only making $50 a day. Dan, Vanessa, and Keith will show you how to extract 50 to $100 out of the market. I mean, that's really it. It's the real deal. And I started trading options with Dan. I still trade options, but you're going to see once you get into this whole futures thing and the multiple accounts, that's where it truly changes your life.
Yeah, I agree, Sean, too. I still love options. I trade options. But the prop firm aspect of futures and the liquidity and all the other stuff that goes with it, it just makes it really compelling. Because me, like I got things going on, developing, software, whatever. And so my screen's always on. I'm, trading pretty much every day. But the prop firm just takes a little pressure off me. It's like, okay, I'm not 100% focused here. At least I'm not going to hurt myself. But what it really did for me was as I was developing new indicators, et cetera, I wasn't having to freak out, with my own money on the line. So it's the next best thing to paper trading and something you can always do trading futures. So thank you, Sean. You really just watching you do this, and I did literally tell him, dude, you're crazy. Calm down. You just don't need 20 accounts. How about 2? And he's like, yeah.
I'm not a smart guy, but when I did the math and I saw that my efforts were going to be multiplied by using a copy trader. I'm like, if I can go out and get 100 accounts, I'm going to get 100 accounts. It just makes sense because I'm not doing any more work than I am on one account versus 60 accounts. It works the same. Click a button and it just copies all the accounts. And we'll make sure it's like a white glove service. Vanessa is phenomenal with really getting you set up, holding your hand. It's not as overwhelming in the beginning as it may seem. There's a whole onboarding process, and they'll make sure that you're guided along, get the accounts the right way, and make sure that your mental side of this is in check and get you making money within the first, 2 months.
Yeah, and again, you made an amazing system out of it, and I love it, and I'm so impressed with you, and I'm so appreciative that you take the time to do this, because I know you don't get paid for being here and helping people, but you keep doing it.
Hey, if I can help one fellow mortgage person get out of the business and make this a full-time gig, I'm happy to do it. I've done my job.
It's been brutal for our mortgage friends. Okay, so I'm going to go through some results. We have, to give you a quick disclaimer, possibly for everyone that's making money, there could be two or three that is not. But it's the people that post tend to post almost every day. So these are not like one-time events where, we see him once and we don't see him again. Bruce, as I haven't followed him as closely, but pretty much every single day since he started with this program, we see these results. Now, why do you see $500, 3, 6, 11 times? Multiplier. It's the trade replicator. So that's what he's doing. John, here's his trades. Looks like he might look like he could be trading these individually because the numbers are so different. But still, with having that number of accounts, he made 1,200 that day. Bruce made 5,500 that day. I don't know if these guys were trading real cash or their prop firm. I think most of these guys may be trading real cash because they've been around for a while. There's Mr. Shawn, and no need to talk about that. Heather, I love this. Thanks, done before the Fed, posting her wins. John again, plus 700 on that day. Now it looks very much like we know that this is trade copier. Joel, 2,000 bucks. That was just two trades on that day. And what do we have here? It's kind of cut off a little bit, but Paul, 2,400 on that day. He took lots of small trades. Tony, you can see what he did here. I won't total it for you, but you get the idea. He was only trading 3 micros. Each micro, make sure you get this, each micro takes 50 bucks. We're being conservative. We're saying we want you to have 200 per micro. So what that means, it was for $600 of capital. This is what he did in a day. I mean, it's not a one-time thing. Hugo, like every morning, I've been meaning to talk to him just because he's just incredible. Every single morning, he's always the first to post and he always says done for the day. And I usually see those barely when I'm even up because I'm on the West Coast. And I just love that he figured out that psychology of I don't have to sit here all day long and stare at my account. I'm going to make my money and go. We've always said that trading is not about staring at your screen. Trading is about, hit and go. Ryan made 700 on that day. Looks like he has 20 accounts. Okay, so next steps. I hope that we have motivated you, compelled you to go into that live trading room and watch and see what we do. There are not a ton of companies that are going to invite you into, under the covers when you're not a paid member. Why? Because they're afraid something's going to go wrong and you won't become a paid member. We just really believe that you should see everything that can be seen and not just one day. I mean, 5 days. So that gives you a chance to really see what reality looks like in our world. You've already been assigned to a trader. They're here to help you with any questions. Audrey, how do they know what trader they're assigned to? Oh, if you don't know, send Audrey an email. Audrey at universityofoptions.com. And I think that's really it. Let's see. Yeah, so this is just quickly inclusive of what's in the program. I did notice, so live trading the futures room is Vanessa and Keith used to be me. I run the options room. You're going to get two auto trading bots, which you can talk about with your trader, weekly classes, live trading. Vanessa and Keith give you those levels all day long. We have a 90-day money back guarantee in everything we do. We've always had a 90-day money back guarantee. And then we've gone one step further. We said we'll pay for that first challenge for you with the prop firm. So between the money back guarantee and having that first challenge paid for, it's not a term you want to say a lot in my business, but you sort of have nothing to lose as long as we're paying for that challenge. And if it's not working for you, just ask for your money back within 90 days. Questions? How are those coming? Do we have anything we need to deal with or I need to deal with? Let's see. Pulling up my chat window. Yeah, and Kevin talked to us because we'll do some kind of a package for you. Anything else? Audrey, did I miss anything?
No, I think we got it all. If no one else has any more questions.
All right, and 45 minutes right on the nose. Okay, guys, so I hope to see you Monday in the live trading room. I think I just think it makes sense for you to check this out, obviously. All right, guys, with that, thank you so much to Keith and Vanessa for what you do every day and for the help on this webinar. And of course, Shawn, what else can you say? But wow. And we'll see you guys later. Thank you so much.